Welcome back. In this lecture, we will integrate ads into our game. We will be adding two types of ads: unrewarded ads that can be skipped and rewarded ads that can't be skipped but will double our current money. First, we need to integrate ads into our game. So you need to make sure that you are signed in. I am currently signed in. You need to do the same thing, otherwise this won't work. And then go to your project settings, services, ads, and then connect to your ads. Here you need to select your organization. I'm just going to use my organization here. And then you need to create a project ID. So let's do that. Once you clicked on the button, it will ask whether the game is primarily targeted to children under the age of 13. So if it was a children's game, then you would just say yes. In my case, I'm going to say no, because this game is not for children specifically. Children can play it, but it's not specifically for children. If you want to know more about the COPPA compliance, definitely check this out, because don't count on my word whether this is the right thing for you or not. Legally, I'm not giving any advice here, so definitely check that compliance stuff out. Then save that. Now at this point, you will see that your ads are turned off. So monetize your game. You can click on off, then it will turn it on. So this will take a little while. You see it imports a bunch of scripts as well and other files into our project. Once it is turned on, check the current version. And in our case, it's 3.52. It's the one that we're going to use. If you want, you can also install the latest version. That will be fine either way. Then you can also go to your dashboard. So there's this dashboard button. So let's go there. Click on it. And then you should end up in your Unity dashboard. Of course, you should make sure that you are logged in for this to work. You can go to monetize here and then go to your projects. And then here under your projects, select the Hausmeister Tycoon and there go to placements. From this menu, you can check your app ID for the App Store as well as the Google Play Store, as well as the ad placements that we have. So here we have the video, playable video, and the rewarded video. These are the two types that we can configure. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. And now let's get back to our project, because now we can go ahead and create an ads manager. So the thing is, you might see that we have a new error here that occurred because there were a bunch of new files that were loaded in the background. So let's not focus on that for now. Let's for now create an ads manager. And then let's create a script inside of here that will also be called ads manager. All right. So let's check out what we need to set up in the ads manager. Before we do that, actually, let's drag the ads manager into our, the scripts into the ads manager and set the transform to be at 0, 0, 0. Okay. So the first thing that you need to add is going to be advertisements. So this namespace here, or advertisements, however you want to pronounce it. So here, this namespace will allow us to use advertisements. So now we need to get our app ID, and we're going to build our game for Android. So let's check out the app ID for Android. It's going to be this one here for the Play Store. So copy that to the clipboard and let's use it in our project, because we will need to make sure that we have it available. So I'm going to make this a serialized field string Android ID. That will be that exact value that I had there. Now in our start method, we can initialize our advertisements or advertisements. So here, advertisement.initialize with the Android ID. Now, since we need to implement two types of ads, one of them being a rewarded video, we need to check if the player finished watching the ad until the end, and only in that case we want to reward the player. The ads package provides different events that we can subscribe to in order to listen to these events. And therefore we're going to use an interface. Okay, so here you see that our ads manager is inheriting from Mono Behavior. But now you can also implement interfaces, and in this case it's going to be the iUnity ad listener. So if you add that, you will see that it will complain because now there are a bunch of methods missing. And we can go to show potential fixes and implement the interface. And once we do that, you will see that it will add a bunch of methods to our project here. So to this ads manager script, it will add the on Unity ads did error, on Unity ads did start, and on Unity ads ready. So these methods will be called in the certain events that will appear. So let's say somebody tried to we tried to display an ad and it didn't work. So the Unity ads did error will be called when the ads started, or this method will be called when it's ready. So before it even started, this method here will be called. And then once it is done, this method here will be called, and we can then also get the result, as well as we will be able to, for example, go ahead and double the money once that is done. So I don't like the position of them, so I'm going to reorder them. I'm going to put them further down in my code. And at the same time, I will use the on the ads did finish at the top, and the rest is fine because I will probably not use them for now. And while we're at it, let's also get rid of the update method because we're not going to use it inside of our ads manager. Now, you might wonder, what are interfaces? Well, we have an extra video where we talk about that. And also, what you have to consider here is we need to add these methods because we added this iUnity ads listener. And we, so to speak, have a contract. So interfaces are like contracts. It's our job to make use of these events, and that's why we need to register them. In the start method, we need to add a listener to the ads event, which already exists in our class. So it's the add listener. Let me add that one here. So advertisement dot add a listener, and I'm just going to say that this is going to be the ad listener. And this is only possible because we have the Unity ads listener interface implemented in our ads manager. So now this here stands for our ads manager. So we're saying we're passing the ads manager as the ad listener, Unity ad listener here. Okay, so you need to pass this when calling this add listener method from the advertisement class, which we have because we added this namespace here at the top. So now this will allow us to execute code, for example, when an ad is finished inside of the on Unity ads did finish method. Now, before we start showing ads, we need to get their placement IDs. So let's go back to our placements here, and we can see that there is 2 ads already defined for us, but let's create one our own. So we can add a new placement, clicking here, and you see there are banner ads, interstitial ads, and rewarded videos. So let's call this one double money video. And this will be a rewarded video. Full screen ads that offer the user a reward, typically in the form of in-game currency for completing the video in full. So let's create this placement. And then let's create another placement. So let's go back. You see here, now double money video is here. Let's add another one. And this one will be a skippable video. So therefore I'm going to use this one, interstitial video. And I'm going to call this one skippable video, like so. And let's create this placement as well. So if you go back now, you see you have your different types of videos. So double money video and the skippable video. They are pretty much the same thing that we have here already, but we're going to use our own, as you see here. And now let's go ahead and use those in our project. So let's go back to our code here, and I'm going to add my placement IDs in here. So I called one of them double money video. I'm going to give it the placement ID, so that will be the string name, double money video. And then the skippable video placement ID is skippable video. So here, unfortunately, I misspelled it and I wrote the capital S, but that's fine. I just need to make sure that it's exactly the same ID as it is here, the placement ID. You can also copy it to your clipboard and then paste it in, just to be sure that you are using exactly the same writing. So if you wrote it slightly differently, it won't work. Really make sure that you use exactly the placement ID that you have in your Unity dashboard. And now let's go ahead and create methods that will call these videos. Okay, so let's make public methods here. Public void show double money ad, and let's add that here. So here we can also just use the advertisement class, and it has a method called show. And here we can just say which ID we want to show. Okay, so here the placement ID, for example. So I'm just going to use the double money video here, and therefore I'm going to copy this variable and I'm going to paste it in there. So now please go ahead and create another method that will then show the skippable video placement ID. Okay, I hope that you did that, and here it is, show skippable ad, and this one will show the skippable video placement ID, which will display the skippable video. All right, now everything is prepared for us to use this on Unity Ads did finish. Because here, instead of throwing an error, not implemented exception, what I want to do is I want to actually run some code. So let me check the result, this show result, and see if it is show result dot finished. Because you see here, show result, if you hover over it, it's an enum. Okay, so enums, they are, as we saw earlier, a type of, well, data that is just containing numbers, but displays readable words so that we understand what they do. So if the result is 0, we will know it's failed. If it's 1, we know it will be skipped. And if it's 2, we know it's finished. So we will check if the show result was finished, and then we can do some rewarding. So we can also, first of all, check if the placement ID was correct. So here, placement ID was the double money video placement ID. And in that case, for now, let's say double your money in the log, as well as let's add money to our game manager, money manager, better said. Okay, so here the money manager is our manager that takes care of our money, as you might recall. And here we have this big integer money, and we're using this instance in order to now double the money. Because what we're saying here is add money, which is our add money method that increases the amount of money we have. So a method to add money to our manager, and we're adding as much money as we currently have, because the money is storing how much money we have. So that means that this add money will now increase the amount of money we have by the amount of money we already have, which means we're doubling our money. That is it for now, but next we will work on the strategy to show our ads.